I'm just adjusting the cameras right now.
Yeah, just doing a slight adjustment of the cameras. And we're about ready to go soon.
Talk them up. Let them know if they want to put
And please put questions in. This was a very big week that's happened the last couple days. And what's your comments, concerns? What do you think about the Trump Mar-a-Lago raid by the FBI and the DOJ? How it transpired? What do you think about it? Especially when we still don't have a lot of information about what they were searching for, what they were was it a legal raid? We have constitutional scholars on both sides that said this was really beyond the pale. So we'll have to see how this goes. So just bear with us. We're just doing the final check. I just want to chalk this up, and we'd love to hear from you all because I know this is set a precedent that is unforeseen in American history that a former president's home was raided. So,
all right, hold on. We can go in.
We're getting ready to close. I know there was one.
Okay. It wasn't a raid. Security let them in. Okay,
we'll answer that once we get started.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go in. 3, 2.
Hey everybody, this is John with Ubaldi Reports, the one place that provides fact, not fiction, on global and international issues that impacts America. And with me, as always, is my great co-host Joe Bitts, a retired combat Marine from Iraq who was wounded there. I served 30 years in the Marines with 2 combat tours to Afghanistan, 1 to Iraq, and I have a master's degree in national security studies, pretty much like as international relations. So I have academic credentials, got published in various military journals. So I just want to provide that backdrop. But we're going to be talking about the Mar-a-Lago raid by the FBI. So we just want to get your concerns. So right now we know so far the FBI went into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. They were there for 9 hours. They entered a safe. And some reports have shown they went into Melania Trump's closet. So that's all we know so far. We don't know what they were looking for or what type of warrant it is. But this was unprecedented that you had a former president and a potential contender for the Republican nomination in 2024 go into be raided. So that's never happened in U.S. history. So hopefully Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, and Christopher Wray, the FBI Director, answer some key questions. What type of warrant? What were they looking for? Did they have specific warrants? Did they have a warrant to go into the safe because they brought a safe cracker with them? Did they have a warrant to go look around, or was this just a fishing expedition? So what do you think, Joe?
Well, I think it was maybe... So on my end, I think maybe Trump set it up. I know that.
How do you say that?
Well, because, there had to be an inside man in order to get all this information. How did they know to go to the safe? How did they know to go to Melania's closet? So what if, just to maybe propel or kind of smear the FBI because they were kind of at hand when it came to his collusion, why not kind of just put some egg in their face by having somebody say, oh, I have special documents here. I have special documents over there. He happened to be out of the facility when they did come in. So what if Trump just kind of set it up and know that there was going to be nothing coming of it. And then he could just quickly turn around and be like, hey, they're targeting me. Why, and now they're using the FBI as a political weapon to try to smear me.
Well, there's it's interesting that you say that, but there's also some of the comments, like someone from, was it Mike?
If we want to go through the comments from the top, hold on.
Okay.
I'm on it. Says, why doesn't Trump release the search warrant? It could clear all of this up.
That could. I mean, I want to see if his lawyers have the search warrant. But the thing is, remember, you're innocent till you're proven guilty. It's not Trump. And people need to get this. And I've said this on a TikTok video. Whether you like Trump or you despise Trump, the Constitution applies to everybody, even the most reprehensible person. So it's not Trump's ability to prove himself innocent. It's the government's job to prove him guilty.
Okay.
And that's what the fundamental aspect of our legal thing is. So, yeah, Trump could do this, but it's not Trump's job to prove himself innocent. It's the government's job to prove that he was guilty of something. And I know someone else mentioned that he violated the Presidential Records Act. So did other presidents in the past.
Mm-hmm.
His was the first president of the United States or former president to be raided.
Now, didn't he even like up it a little bit when he was president when it came to the Presidential Records Act, making it more of a felony versus a misdemeanor?
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat that question again.
So when Trump was in office, did he take the act and kind of refigure it where the penalties were a little bit more stronger?
That I don't know, but the president can declassify anything. It's not the National Archives' job to declassify something. So we don't really know what's going into some of this stuff. But
going with like Michael Stickman saying Trump said if you plead the fifth, you're guilty. Trump pleaded the fifth today. When it came to like his New York case when he was being deposed.
Well, that's the thing is they're looking at every aspect of his life, and so I would plead the fifth because you're not going to incriminate yourself. Yeah, he did that on what's said on the campaign trail is one thing, but this is in the court of law.
Mm-hmm.
They're just looking at everything. And one of the comments from, was it River of Rodriguez, that he can't take classified information. That's true. But also, if you're going to go after classified material by doing a raid like by the FBI, why didn't the FBI do the same thing to Hillary Clinton when she had her own server that directed every classified material that was sent to her from the most basic all the way up to the most sensitive of U.S. secrets that only she would have had access to. So if you're going to apply it to one, you got to apply it to the other. And even Alan Dershowitz, who's a liberal constitutional scholar from Harvard University, said the very same thing. You got to have the shoe on the other foot.
So going back to what I was saying about using the FBI as a political weapon, one of the TikTokers was saying how, let's see, River Rodriguez was saying that the FBI was the FBI a political weapon when it was investigating Hillary. Now, when the FBI was investigating Hillary, wasn't Obama in office?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Obama was the president during that time. And if you look at that, they provided every deference. They never seized her server. They never looked at the server from the DNC. The DNC we were told was hacked by Russia. CrowdStrike out in San Diego is the one that authenticated it, said they were hacked, and it was by Russia. But the FBI never took possession of that server. They just took their word. So why would the FBI take the word of a third party and not conduct its own investigation?
Okay, so someone's saying how Alan Dershowitz was involved with Epstein. I wish people would stop quoting him. So wasn't the Alan Dershowitz, was he the judge appointed?
No, I think he was the legal counsel.
Okay,
but the point I would say to that, even the most this may get a lot of pushback from people. Even the most reprehensible person in custody today has the right under the Constitution to legal counsel. I'm not denying that Jeffrey Epstein is this despicable individual, but he deserves legal counsel just like anybody else.
Yeah. Okay.
So to say we can't quote from Alan Dershowitz is a fallacy that I think is wrong to say that.
Okay. One said that Biden didn't tell Trump to withhold top secret information. I'm really trying to maybe he can. I think there's a little bit more argument going on within the TikTok chat than we. Trump was told to give these stolen documents back months ago. No one should be surprised.
Yeah, but you're everybody's making the assumption these are stolen documents. What documents are they requesting? I'm not here to be a cheerleader for Donald Trump, but it seems like Donald Trump can do nothing wrong. Nothing right. And they pile on this. Let's go back. Nobody says anything about what Hillary Clinton did.
Okay, so just to be clear, because River Rodriguez, there might be a little bit of confusion, and you are the fact king, especially when it comes to if Hillary Clinton was investigated under Trump, you would say she was investigated under Trump. Was Hillary Clinton at all investigated under Trump?
As far as I know, the investigation ended with Hillary Clinton when James Comey said he wasn't going to indict her he said she made mistakes, but it were not indictable offenses because she didn't have the intent to mishandle classified materials. Now, if that continued under Trump, Jeff Sessions didn't do it, nor did William Barr, because the investigation was closed. What William Barr did is he submitted set in motion the special counsels under John Durham after when he took office to find out what began the origins of the Trump Russian collusion investigation. So the investigation that Hillary stopped when that happened. It didn't continue under Donald Trump.
Okay. So, and a lot of people are, like, in the chat are kind of coming in with like Hillary this, and Trump that. Is there like a division here, or is there like maybe a line we can kind of break off? Why? Okay, under your best, you don't really want to give assumptions, but under your knowledge, why would the FBI go into Mar-a-Lago?
That's what I don't know. I don't know what was in the warrant to search that home. Was it because they were looking for classified material? That we don't know. That's just speculation that we've been hearing. We don't know if it was anything related to the January 6th, which would be a stretch. Even constitutional scholars, and I know if someone doesn't like to hear Alan Dershowitz, but there's Jonathan Turley. There was even liberals, constitutional scholars, who said the same thing. It's a stretch to say so we don't know what they were looking for, what they took, because Trump lawyers were not there. They were told to leave the premise.
Okay. A lot of people are really up in here.
I can see that.
This is good.
This is good.
But kind of going back to the whole Trump, going back like to the whole Trump thing, I would think did the FBI just kind of maybe conjure this out of thin air just to kind of maybe smear his reputation, or try to kind of, we've seen the arrows always going at Trump since he took office. And now that we're kind of rounding into the midterms, we see a lot of people that are being backed by Trump making a lot of headway when it comes to the election, especially when November comes around. Are they trying to maybe like smear Trump's name so that the people that are running under his approval or running under his endorsement maybe fade away or lose that endorsement or lose
that? I'm not going to speculate that because I don't have the evidence to back that up. I can go back in the past to see when they investigated Hillary by the FBI, how that was handled compared to how the investigation was handled. Anybody that was a supporter or a staff member for Donald Trump. So on this case, I don't know what was in the search warrant. So that's something Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland are going to have to answer.
So earlier when we came in and did a little prep, my wife kind of gave you a little Iggy or a little rumor. And the way you looked at her, I was like, I know exactly what was on your head or what you were thinking. But it was kind of so here, and I'm kind of seeing this in the chat, was saying that supposedly Donald Trump, whatever stuff he took, he hid it in the coffin of Ivanka Trump, and now it's buried in one of his golf court. And I am seeing that kind of like milling around in the chat. So put it out, or not out there, but just lay it out.
I mean, it's to say that he put documents in Ivanka Trump's coffin, so it's buried, It's like people speculating where's the grave of Jimmy Hoffa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just stick to facts that we know. I'm not even going to speculate and go down that realm.
I mean, I can't believe him having this conversation with his kids. You know, be like, "Hey, there's some important documents. They're going to arrest me if they find them. I'm just going to put them with your dead mom." Is that cool, everybody?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to go down.
I wish people would just kind of say this out loud to themselves so that they can hear how stupid it sounds.
And to me, it's just, unless you have proof, evidence, not just some conspiracy theory, I'm not even going to go down that realm.
Now, if they exhume the grave of Ivanka Trump,
that would be a big. If they do that,
and nothing comes up,
that would be a stretch.
I mean, you're almost guaranteeing him to be the 47th president, right?
Yeah. Now here's someone that's just going back on another note. Was it Beachbody? I think I missed the comment said.
That's Beach Baby. Yep.
Trump was already cooperating with the National Archives to give documents. And even constitutional scholar like Jonathan Turley said, hey, you don't need to do a search warrant. You can get a subpoena to get those documents. Trump wasn't the first president to take Clinton did it. Obama did it. I believe George Bush did it. Everybody did, but they didn't do raids on their homes. If that's the basis for this, then we come on. And everybody's got it because everybody has an opinion on this president. And if you hate Donald Trump, then all bets are off. You can do everything you want. You can raid his home. You can do all these things. You can investigate him in his nauseum. And if you support Donald Trump, then this is all wrong. The way I see it is the rule of law must be applied to both sides equally and fairly and in a political settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that wasn't the case. Like if you take Hillary, you had go back to even to the Obama years. You had Eric Holder said, I'm the wingman for President Obama. You had Loretta Lynch. Hold on. Meets on the tarmac with the Bill Clinton while they're investigating his wife. And then with a week later, they came out, we're not charging her.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to River. He has a lot of things to say.
I'm sure he does.
But he says Trump was the first president to break the Presidential Records Act of 1978.
No, other presidents have done it. That's not accurate.
Okay. So suck it, River.
And it says, here's the other one. Trump was the only thief to remove stuff. That's false. Bill Clinton did it. And
didn't Bill and Hillary have like a moving truck and took furniture out of the White House?
They did stuff. I mean, I would tell people, think about this if this was you. We now are going to have 87,000 IRS agents fanning out to audit Americans. And if you think that's only going to go after the wealthy, think again. So what happens if they came after you? Somebody didn't like you. Do you want them going after everything and you've got to challenge it, you got to fight it, you got to get an accountant and an attorney and all that stuff? So if they're doing this to Trump, what would they do to you? And who's going to stand up for you?
Okay, so we got Smokin' Jay says, name the president also did it.
I just did.
Who?
Bill Clinton did it. Mm-hmm. I think Barack Obama did it. George Bush did it. They all take documents. And they all have to, either give it back. They have to go through the National Archives.
Remember the one guy that was under the Clinton administration that snuck them out in his ass crack?
And that was Sandy Berger.
Yeah.
Sandy Berger did the same thing. National Security Advisor for Bill Clinton took classified documents out and stuffed in his pants and socks, got caught. He just lost his clearance for 3 years, pled to a misdemeanor, and that's it. So everybody needs to dial this back, and this is where the DOJ and the FBI have got to come clean and said, what was the reason for the raid?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Trump's job to prove he's innocent. It's the government's job to prove he's guilty. And so far we don't know if it's classified. We don't know if it was January 6th or something else. Why were in the house for 9 hours?
Well, little mementos. What about like things like, okay, a lot of things happened under his presidency that were never going to be even thought of, especially when it came to North Korea meeting with America. When it came to that, like if he got a letter from Kim Jong-un, Is that something he could kind of have a keepsake for?
No, on some of that, a lot of the stuff the presidents get, that has to be turned over to National Archives. You're not supposed to keep gifts. Now, I don't know when it comes to personal letters. I'm not an expert on the National Archives, but you're not allowed to keep gifts from foreign leaders. That goes into the National Archives. You can house that at your presidential library and goes from there.
Okay, so Dion234. So basically, you're saying Trump is above the law.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying Trump's above the law. I want the law equally played. If you look at it, why were they going after things that Donald Trump, let's say, was classified material, but the FBI didn't go after the server that was Hillary Clinton had all classified material that she was in office as the Secretary of State on that server, including Special Access Program, which is the most top secret of the U.S. secrets we have. I didn't see the FBI go to her office or her home. When she was interviewed by the FBI, they gave her every deferential treatment, and that was done by Peter Strzok, and her lawyer was Cheryl Mills, who was part of the investigation. She shouldn't have been in that room because she was a part of the investigation, so she was not impartial. She was compromised because she is part of the investigation.
So
should never have happened.
So going into maybe a little bit, we are kind of constantly bringing up Hillary, but what about the president himself, President Biden? Does he have any liability, or is there anything like? Is there a special courtesy between presidents, or where they're like, if something happens, you're like, you know what, leave him alone?
Well, there was that you typically didn't comment on the current presidents in office, like George Bush Jr. did. He never commented on the actions of President Obama. He said he's doing the best job he can with the information. I'm not going to comment on that presidency. But it seemed with Donald Trump, all bets are off. Anybody can yell and scream. And now the question is with President Biden, why isn't the FBI looking at Hunter Biden? That was disinformation. We found out now it wasn't disinformation. It was actually truth. So why are they looking at that? Why aren't they looking at the Chinese businessmen meeting President Biden in the Oval Office? I don't see that happening when he was vice president. These are issues that need to be brought up. So if you're going to go after one, as Alan Dershowitz said, shoe on the other foot. If you're going to go after one, you better play it equal to the other side as well.
Okay, JM1469, he said this guy acts. I'm pretty sure that when he says this guy, he means you. Like he knows like you know what the FBI knows.
I didn't say that. All I know is the FBI conducted a search.
Yeah.
They would have to put in that warrant, and I've talked to I work at a law enforcement equipment that provides equipment to federal, state, and local law, and I asked them these questions. If you're going to do this, you have to put what you're looking for. You cannot do fishing expeditions.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you disagree with Donald Trump, he's still afforded the constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And some of them comment, well, Hillary met for 12 hours. That was regarding Benghazi.
Yeah.
And it was different. If you follow this investigation, when she was questioned about her server, they gave her every deferential treatment, and that was conducted by Peter Strzok and others. These are the same individuals that conducted the Russian collusion investigation. And then you had FBI officials like James Kleinsmith pled guilty to altering evidence to get a surveillance warrant through a federal judge, basically lying to a federal judge to get a warrant.
Yeah.
And you had others that just suppressed things, did things that were different, that was different than the way they treated Donald Trump.
So I really enjoy all the chat. It's it's on fire.
Oh yeah, it's on fire.
And kind of going more into what's going on. We wanted to do more of an education show today, but this is just, I mean, you got to go with what we're doing. What possible crime did Trump commit other than taking records? Could he have done to kind of maybe equal what Hillary had done?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know. That's something hopefully we'll learn in the weeks or days ahead. If there's something beyond just classified, I don't know.
So what if the information that they pulled out. So they were in there for 9 hours.
No, this I got to stop.
Okay.
When this person said stop the bull, Hunter's not in office. He's not in office, but his father is. And his father was in office when he was vice president. So explain to me why his father's vice president, he's traveling to China, he gets involved in Ukraine. Tell me, what business does Hunter Biden have? Was he an expert in energy? Was he expert in finance? Was he expert in China or Ukraine or in the Congo? Explain to me that. Explain to me these issues that Hunter Biden was involved in, that his father was vice president. Remember, his father had a prosecutor in Ukraine fired because he was investigating Hunter Biden. So don't play that bull crap with me.
Hey, John, we just hit over 100 people watching this right now. So this is like a milestone for us.
Well, it is. I just want fact to come out. I'm not trying to say Donald Trump is innocent or guilty. Let the facts come out, but apply it equally. Because remember, they can come after you just like they came after Donald Trump.
And I think that's a lot of things what people are missing is that if they can go after the most powerful man at the highest office and raid him, you are nothing but a simple smear on the glass for them that they're just going to wipe out.
Well, exactly. And it's interesting. Every time they get up on Capitol Hill and they get interviewed, it's always, we can't answer that question. This is an ongoing investigation. Oh, I don't have that information. Or we lost the servers. Or we lost this. Or like, remember with the IRS.
Yeah.
When the IRS targeted conservatives. Oh, we can't find the servers. Oh, we lost this. Can you go to the IRS and say, oh, I lost this. I can't give you that information, so I'm not going to be held accountable? Yeah, right.
So kind of a little bit of a side note, but we'll go back to the Trump thing. Wasn't Pelosi's son
correct
riding with her to Taiwan?
Taiwan, who was involved in lithium mines, and that's one of the key components that go into making electric cars.
Okay.
Kind of ironic. Just like Hunter Biden was involved in a deal in the Congo to sell a conglomerate of cobalt mine to the Chinese. Yep, right there.
Awesome. So going more with what we're talking about. I mean, a lot kind of just been on the surface. We got the news on Monday that, the Trump place has been raided. Anything that the Secret Service could have done, or is there anything that could have?
The Secret Service is not. They're there to protect the president. There's a reason they have that. They're not going to get involved in stopping things because now they're overstepping their bounds.
Mm-hmm.
When they protect the president, you want the Secret Service to be there to protect the president, because if they got involved in this, presidents would distance themselves from the Secret Service. So I'm not going to throw the Secret Service. They did their job. They were doing their job well, and they go from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it seems like a lot to discuss. Maybe we should talk about precedent, because this administration is definitely sending a precedent when it comes to using the FBI, especially since there have been more blatant things going on with this administration than a few pieces of paper being taken from the White House back because you want a keepsake or something like that.
Well, Victor Davis Hanson, who's a historian, a military historian at the Hoover Institute, said that. He goes, you crossed the Rubicon. Let's say there's a Republican president in 2024. Are they going to send the FBI and the DOJ to do a raid on Hunter Biden's official residence to get information about Hunter Biden and anything like that, or some of the dealings that he's done?
Yeah.
So when you cross this Rubicon, you better have your facts and you better be up on the legal standard, or you're going to be held accountable. And you've set that precedent. We're doing things like impeachment, how impeachment was used, or when they set up the January 6th. I'm not against having a January 6th committee. I have a problem when it's one-sided, when the Democratic majority refuses to have Republicans or have an opposition. So basically it's the prosecutor running the show without the defense being able to challenge witnesses or to challenge documents that are being used.
So where does the whole did Trump ever have an intention of maybe investigating Hillary, or was it just kind of like?
I think it was more for play into the audience. He never did. Now, he clashed with his two attorney generals, William Sessions and William Barr, but he never, and William Barr has said, he never got involved and forced me to investigate. He says, just go with the chips fall.
Yeah.
That's as far as we went. So we got to see where this goes, and we're definitely got to see where the John Dermer investigation comes as it moves forward. We just don't know where they're at.
So what are we maybe going to be looking forward to in the next couple weeks when it comes to this? Is the president going to, or is President Trump going to come out with the search warrant? Is the FBI going to come out? Someone needs to talk about this.
Somebody does, and I don't know if it's going to come from Trump, but I can say this is Christopher Wray and William Garland, the DOJ Attorney General, needs to come out and explain what were they looking for, what was in the search warrant. It's not Trump's idea to prove himself innocent. The government's got to prove himself guilty. What were they looking for?
Hey, and somebody just called you a Joe Rogan wannabe. So
well, that's great. Call me what you want, but
so if you want to get a hold of this Joe Rogan wannabe, how can they get a hold of you, John?
You can go to ubaldireports@gmail.com. That's ubaldireports@gmail.com, or you can track us on all the social media platforms and all the streaming services.
Yeah, like us on Instagram. Also, go hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook, where you can get a lot of this information. If there's one thing you're going to get from John, it's definitely the truth. He's not going to throw his opinion in on it. He's going to show you what it is for face value. And if you want to hear maybe more of me, I have a podcast called All American Gunslingers. You can reach us at allamericangунslingers@gmail.com. Check us out on All American Gunslingers on all your podcast platforms. And when we get 1,000 people on our TikTok, we will be going live as well. So everybody, have a great day.
And I thank everybody for chiming in, even those that disagree. Just keep the name calling down. That doesn't. I think someone who said I wasn't the brightest crayon on the shed. So
hey, you got to make sure he knows that Marines eat crayons.
Yeah,
so
we eat crayons, but you got to take the good with the bad. But I mean, hey, let's keep it civil. You may disagree with my what I presented, but let's keep it civil. But thanks for all the comments, even those that disagreed. We'd love to hear from you. So keep following Ubaldi Reports.
Awesome.